Welcome to Standing on Business with Eric Foss. I'm your host, Eric Foss. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Standing on Business with Eric Foss. I'm your host, Eric Foss. Listen, man, Philly. I just put out a nice video about y'all yesterday. And y'all come down here. I'm not even talking about the players, man. Nah, I'm kidding around, man. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys travel really well. It was backed up from all the way up to Delaware, they said. Like, not backed up, but, very slow traffic. You guys travel well. I didn't know that about you guys, honestly, because you're always in the NFC. It was a good game, but Justin Tucker for the Ravens, he's got to go, man. One thing that you need in the playoffs, and especially for cold weather, you need a good field goal kicker. Remember this, guys. A lot of people are just paying attention. Some people are casual football fans and just see the end of Tom Brady's career and know he has 7 Super Bowls. But imagine they don't even know the name Adam Vinatieri. If Adam Vinatieri would have hooked them field goals, Tom Brady wouldn't even be in the GOAT conversation, most likely. So, anyway, shout out to you guys, man, on a nice win. I picked y'all to go to the Super Bowl. And I picked you to go against us. I'm feeling a little bit shaky with us. You guys, I think, match up well with the Lions and stuff. You won an eight in a row. It's tough. You might want to drop one. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean when you clinch drop one. I mean, like, really. You just want to go into the playoffs full steam ahead, and that's your best. So shout out to all you guys, the content creators. I know we got a few content creators. I think are Eagles fans. Shout out to Jeff Nadeau. Shout out over there to the Skinny, Joey and Snuff. Anybody else, any other content creators, Philadelphia fans. Go win. All right, guys, what we're going to get into tonight is a lot of election stuff. Election just happened. Here on YouTube, MobTube and everything. There's arguments over politics. And, some people are right, some people are wrong, stuff like that. Well, tonight we're going to talk politics, but we're going to talk my politics. We're going to talk prison politics. And I wanted to get into this. What are they? Why are they designed? And do they work? So, let's start here. The reason why prison politics are made, okay, is if you really broke it down and went by a constitution of why they're made, it seems like a great idea. And it is needed. But it gets abused. We'll get into that. And that's where the problems arise. And dummies. You know what I mean? But anyway, what it was designed for, like prison politics and cliques and stuff like that, like the hands-off policy they have in the federal penitentiaries between races and things, placing shot callers so that if there's an issue, you don't got hundreds of people going at each other. You just got these people settling the issue, and you getting the team ready and stuff. I mean, what that was done for was protection. And what I mean by that is, you may have had certain groups or maybe a certain race or certain this or whatever that is just, just doing whatever they want to people. There's people who are worded, things like that, extorted, things taken from them and everything. So that's why they put the politics in order. Now, the main thing about the prison politics is respect. See, that doesn't go on out here, really. So that's what I do like about prison, because you have a different respect level there, because there's no hiding. You know what I mean? There's no hiding, and it's a very small community. You're not going to run off. Somebody always catch up to you. So I do like that. And now there's certain things like that you may not know. Like let's talk about like in the penitentiary. When the first time I went in the chow at the penitentiary, I think it was the drink thing was right here. And I was normal. Nobody was in there. It was just us. And these tables were empty. I walked through and I cut through the tables. Kitchen worker, old head dude, called me over. Hey, man, can I talk to you for a minute? Know where he was from. He was from, he didn't disrespect me or nothing. He said, hey, this your first time in the USP? I was like, yeah. He's like, look, don't ever cut through them tables. You just walk all around. I could have acted tough or whatever, but hey, man, these rules are set. You know what I mean? It's a respect thing. Also, say say I get called to the lieutenant's office for anything, a piss test, just anything, some mail or whatever, legal mail, who knows. I can't go there alone. Okay. Now, there's different politics for different cars, but that right there is, I'm going to get into the different ones too, guys, for everybody and who it's harder on and stuff like that. But that one's just all around. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to go talk to the CO, the lieutenant, especially anything like that without somebody else with you. That way, you know, there's so much stuff that goes down that you can't be accused. Oh, I seen E. He went to the lieutenant's office earlier and then so-and-so got caught with that down there. You know what I mean? And people, another thing is the rats, it actually hurts the rats by us doing that because now the rats can't put them bones and hide themselves. What do you mean by that? What I mean, guys, is this. Like, say you got a guy who's a jailhouse rat and he sees me go to the lieutenant's office by myself and I'm a normal dude. People don't really know who I am or whatever. But let me correct that too. In the penitentiary, it doesn't matter who you are. You're always going with 2 people, at least. So, anyway, but, okay, so say he sees me go to the lieutenant's office, and I take a piss test. I come back. Now, this guy hears me get called, sees me walk alone, so I may be down at 45 an hour. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe 10 minutes. Now, what he does is, nowadays they got computers, but, you know, back in the day they had notes. It's all going to be the same. He goes, either drops a note, goes to the computer, or whatever. There's a weapon in Donnie's cell 35. Boom. Next thing you know, Donnie's cell gets shook down. They find all Donnie's stuff. Donnie goes to the hole. Donnie and E didn't really like each other. They were arguing and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But see, people can play that. Now, all of a sudden, the rat comes down and says, whispers in someone's ear, man, I seen E at the lieutenant's office earlier. You understand? And then that bone will be put out there. So that avoids all that, you know. But also, too, one thing around that, and I always said this, but I mean, I don't know how they would do it because we're in the penitentiary now, not in the FCI. I don't know how they would, like, disclose to each other or whatever, but I always imagine this, too. I said, the way that plan could actually fail is what if you got 2 rats that go to the lieutenant's office? So this guy's a rat and this guy's a rat, and they know each other as rats. So when he goes to snitch, he just takes him. When he goes to snitch, he takes him. Eventually, somebody would catch on because it comes out. Now, let's get into the different cars and the different politics, man. It's all different, okay? A tight ship. I'm going to tell you that the tightest ships ran are from what I've been around. So please, nobody take offense. This is my experience. The tightest ship that I've seen ran is the Southsiders, the Serranos. I would assume Norteños run their car the same way. I was in the penitentiary with them. I think there was some on Allenwood FCI, but at the end of the day, that was during COVID, so, you know, there wasn't too much mixing and mingling. So I would assume that the Norteños carry it the same way as the Serranos, okay? So what I mean by running a tight ship is this, man. When they come in, they are vetted extremely hard. They know that they're coming. They know who they are. They know what they're there for. They will have their paperwork. They will have this. They are not going to have no dirt on them. They're not going to have no stuff like that. See, because it's not just, when I say the vetting stuff, okay, well, how hard is it to vet somebody? You just, you know, you can pretty much know rat and stuff and then look it up and find, you know what I mean, or find out somebody's cool. That's pretty damn easy. And you can find out if someone's a sex offender too. Pretty damn easy. But there's also other things that come with it. You see, you don't want people coming in your car or hanging out with you guys or whatever that have like bad dirt on their name, whereas though they may have been in another joint. They may have been a thief. They may have been a jailhouse rat. They may have been, you know, one of the guys that tricked the bag watchers. And let me explain that real quick. You guys probably get a kick out of that. See, you got these older guys in there that have been in so many years. and they're out of their mind. But all that they really do, like if they do got a hustle or whatever like that, they sit around and they watch the new inmates come in and watch them go to commissary to see who has money. You know, these guys been locked up a long time. Some of them been cut off and stuff like that. So they're hustling, you know what I mean? So now, sometimes they get tricked. Because what you'll have is you'll have a guy who goes yard to yard doing this. He'll show up on the yard and he'll go to commissary, the limit, the first time. Boom, come back with everything. Boom, boom. Get money sent to a few people. Money gets there like that. Boom, boom. Remember, this money's been piling up, and I'll explain to you how. So, he's already been down. He's been down 6 years, and he shows up here, and he can still make these things move. Man, this guy's good money. Now he might start getting thin. So what he does, I'll make the joke about this part, but what he could do, he could go to commissary, just get a whole bunch of bags of potato chips and just put some soups in the middle of it and have it all puffed out and act like it's real heavy and drag 2 bags when he comes back from commissary, put it in his cell. These bag watchers will watch him. Now all of a sudden they'll go up to him and whatever they're hustling, they will front to him. Oh, you need this, you need that, whether it be drugs, whether it be alcohol, whether it be stamps, whether it be vegetables, whether it be fish, whether they're running a store, let them run a store tab, all of that, okay? So you get guys who make a living doing that. Now, how does their money pile up so they can pass it off the first move? Well, first off, when they first come to prison, you know, people will look out for you and stuff like that, most likely. So that's what got them flowing. Now, you say, well, they've been in this much time. They've been in this much time or whatever, and they're still able to show up on this compound and spend money like that, so their money must be good. But nobody's paying attention. They've been in this shoe for a year, being transferred because they're on protective custody because they checked in from another joint. So, yeah, they're getting $60 here, $100 here, and stuff like that, and it's piling up. So they could show up and put their show on again. So that's that. You're not going to have in the Serenios, the Southsiders, you're not going to have homosexuality. Either which way, pitching or catching. No. No, sir. You're going to have no type of even looking like jailhouse ratting. No. You ain't going to have they can't have an act of cowardice. What I mean by an act of cowardice is, and if that happened in the past or something like that, like, you know, say they a fight jumped off and they backed out of it, or you know, I mean, a riot was kicking off and they ran in a corner, you know, anything like that. You know, that's looked for in all cars too, though, mostly all cars. So, you know, them things come with you. So that's why the politics are put in line. So there's certain things that the way these politics work. And now, as you remember, I talked about the John Gotti story, and I like to use this here because, you know, that's a popular story about the guy, the Walter Johnson, that took off on him, and, you know, the fight or whatever. He hit John Gotti, whatever. Anyway, so there's been 100 rumors about that. One of the rumors was that John Gotti called him the N-word or something like that. Here's why I say that's bogus. First off, I know somebody was there. Second off, John Gotti wasn't a new guy. John Gotti knew prison politics. Okay? John Gotti would not, and if he did, listen, and if he did, he would get dealt with by the white guys. Do you understand? They would have crushed him for doing that. Just like they would crush me for doing that. Crush him for doing that. Because, remember this. Let me get into the rest of the story and how that rumor started, I think. The guy, Walter Johnson, who did it, he did it for clout, bro. And I know that because he's a troublesome guy. He went home, caught the life bid or whatever, and now just down D.C. jail not too long ago, he got stabbed up by them young boys because he's a troublemaker. So what I think, most likely he did it for clout, but he's not thinking at the time. And what backfired on him, everybody wants to know what happened. Because check this out. If he just came and took off on John Gotti for no reason, he's going to have a real hit on him wherever he goes, and it's going to be by the blacks. And they will be able to catch up to him. And he's not that crazy. You understand what I'm saying? He's got sense. He can hide from Gotti's people. He can't hide from his own people. Do you understand? So that's where he probably, when they asked him, he probably came up with it. Yo, I heard him say this. You know what I mean? So he's smoothing it over, protecting himself. And then that rumor gets out there. And, you know, that's how that happens. But no, you can't do that. I've seen guys get drunk and say the N-word with an A on the end of it. And if a black dude gets offended and wants to be a real prick, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can know you're not a racist or whatever. He just go to your car. Be like, bop, bop, bop. And you're going to get dealt with, man. Respect is a big thing. And the reason why I say that with the Walter Johnson thing, remember, the reason why them rules are in place there, especially with the hands-off policy and the starting racial stuff, if you remember in the early 90s, I believe it was, Lewisburg, you've probably heard them stories of when T.D. Bingham, I always mess up his name, and Barry Mills or whatever sent that note or whatever, it said hit the D.C. blacks or whatever at a certain time. It all started with that stuff with Cadillac and Silverstein and went way back. But my point to it is, that really happened. And when they say the man was the headless horseman and they rolled it down the tier like a bowling ball, that really happened. Okay? That is scary. Everybody's scared of that. So that's why them rules are in place. So that can't happen. Say he did that all across the United States of America, out of the blue, dudes from wherever he's from, or just whatever, say Philly or DC black dude, wherever, or to California, it doesn't matter. All of a sudden, there's a hit on all of them. They don't even know it's coming. And they will get on, you know, people will lose their life. So you got to remember. So those are some of the good parts of it. Now, like I said, Serenius is a tight ship. White boys. I put him number 2. I'll put him number 2. Now, the problem with the white boys, see, the white boys don't know how, a lot of times, to even manage this system. A lot of times with the white boys, see, with the Serenios, what they got over top of them is either 1 or 2 guys on the yard, but at least 1 on every penitentiary yard. That's a black hand. He's an Emmy. He keeps them in line. When no matter what he tells them to do, they will do. And they have to do it, whether they like him or not, because they're really born into that. Their families will be unalive. They will be they can't run. They can't hide. They can't just quit. You know? So, you know, they're pretty substantial people to be at that position. They've been through some stuff. Now, the problem is the white guys. Sometimes the ones that get in position were just low-life nobodies. They're tough. They were this and that. They don't have half a brain. They've done some stupid stuff. You know what I mean? Now, they can't think past go. They can't judge character very well. So, you know, a lot of times they don't know how to check paperwork. They do not know how to check paperwork. Like, a lot of people will hear on here, like, first off, if you assign anybody to check paperwork, they should have to know a little bit about the law, I think. Because, okay, I'll throw one out there right here. Rule 35. What do you guys all think that is? You've heard it before. You guys are going to think that's a rat deal, right? You're halfway right. Let me tell you why. Rule 35B means that you're going to, you know, rat on somebody or whatever like that. That's true. A Rule 35A means you're going back to court because you received an illegal sentence, which I'll tell you this. Here's an example of it. Say I'm facing 0 to 20, but my guidelines are 23 years, and the judge gives me the 23 years. I would file a Rule 35A because it's an illegal sentence because it went past the 20-year statutory maximum, which is set by Congress, which overrides the guidelines. You understand? So you would hear, oh, he got a Rule 35 and got 8 years off. This guy would say, I might get hit over that, but it was an illegal sentence. But they don't know no better. All they see or hear is a Rule 35. A guy got the time off. Also with the 5Ks. A 5K1, yes, that's a rat thing. But I think it's 5K2 is like, you know, when you kind of like a compassionate release thing or you're mentally unstable thing, you know, something like that. So anyway, I believe that that's what happens with the white car. A lot of times you got guys do that. Now, also with that, white guys aren't as, you got to remember, they're just white guys. They are not an actual gang. They're not an actual, all from the same neighborhood. They're not all, you understand what I'm saying? So they will use their power to turn on each other. And with them, it's too many chiefs, not enough Indians. But let me say this. You will be vetted very hard. If something comes up about you and you're lucky enough to get a chance to explain it, you better be innocent and you better explain it. All that, I ain't gonna explain myself. Okay. And nowadays, there's a lot of things that need to be explained because I'll give you examples of things. Ever since, what was it? What is that law? No, not a Megan law. It's some type of law. And it passed like, it's like the Me Too movement shit or something, you know, with that. But listen, now, that's a good thing. Them laws are good things. But here's also what they do. Say you were, and here's how it works. And I know it doesn't work like this in the streets or anything, but in the federal prison system, here's how it works. Say you were 20 years old, okay? And you used to buy hookers, prostitutes or whatever. And now say you pulled up to get a hooker and she was an undercover cop. But you were in college or whatever. So when you go to court, you take like a probation before judgment or something. And in 30 days, you know what I'm saying, you do 30 hours community service or something. You don't go to jail. I mean, it's nothing. You know what I mean? Nothing. So now you're 50, you catch a federal prison bid and you go into federal prison system. Even though you never had to register as a sex offender or nothing on the street, and you're really not a sex offender, like to the actual idea, but you technically are. All it's going to say on a statement of reasons, which is another piece of paperwork that comes with your judgment and commitment, but on the back, it's 2 pages, your statement of reasons, why you got the sentence you got and everything like that. And it's got all these check boxes. They don't have, oh, he was picking up a hooker, or that. All it's going to say is it's going to be X, it says sex offender. Now, if they see something like that, they may not give a person a chance to explain themselves, and they may jump the gun, and they could unalive that person for that, and that person really isn't that. So you have to judge character. You have to vet at that point in time, what you would have to do, like I said, everything's already vetted. Now, this came up. Now, you don't just hit them from that point, in my mind, because of what I said. It could be a mistake. And plus, you might look at the guy. Now, if he looks all, you know, and I've been tricked before, man. I've seen guys that look tough and everything like that, and they were mows. I got tricked before, man. Straight up. Straight up. There's a lot of them. But anyway, so what you would have to do is vet that person further. In other words, sit them down, get somebody who knows the law, start asking questions. What happened? Oh, does that make sense? Blah, blah, blah. So, and then if they tell you that happened 20 years ago, find out their case search or whatever from their judiciary, and you go look it up, and you could see it right there, like it wasn't all that. Or another option may have been if the guy could get his PSI or anything like that, like, because it's hard sometimes to get your PSI. But my point being is 8 times out of 10, the white guys are not going to get to this vetting process. They're just going to see that X, and then they're going to ask you. Which is good and bad, too, because it's bad in that situation, but it's good in other situations, man. So, now, you do get some white gangs. They have different politics. In the feds, you're not going, what they have is white cells, black cells, Spanish cells, stuff like that. Like, I'm not going to go in a United States penitentiary and I got a cell. So as soon as I get that cell, that's considered a white cell, like it or not. Now, I can't move a black dude in there. I'm going to get hit. You know, and even when I had my cell, honestly, because of that too, I wouldn't even move gang members in. I had the one kid, Kenny, move him. He became one, but he really wasn't one. He didn't last long. But, you know what I'm saying? But now, obviously, if they just needed a cell overnight and something was coming open or something, yeah, you see. But I just didn't like their trouble, you know what I mean? And all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so that's the politics. Now, that goes for everyone. But like with the gangs, like if they caught one of their gang members smoking after a black guy, like smoking a cigarette, smoking a joint or anything like that, drinking after, anything like that, sometimes just eating the same bowl, you know, cooked together, anything like that. Nah, they don't do that. They're not supposed to. They're not even supposed to like sit down and play like spades with them. I don't know. You know, so that's a different element too. So, because you're going to have each gang, each white gang has got their own politics, but they're all like the same. You understand what I'm saying? So now, when you're just a regular white dude, you're still going to fall underneath the politics. Nobody's going to come in and change nothing. You know what I mean? So now let's get down to a car that I wasn't in the penitentiary with because they couldn't walk the yard. The Paisas. Everybody hears about that. Paisano. What the Paisas are, dude, they're actually your real people who deal with the cartels and stuff like that. But they're little 5 foot tall, fat farmers. See, the closer that they get to the border as they grow up, just like you see the gangbangers in LA. They're not all little farmers and stuff like that, but that's because they're over here with better nutrition and stuff. They grow up over here and stuff. They're American. Well, anyway, so that's what they are. So now, what were they? Why did they have to become a car? Why did they have to band together? They were the easiest victim. The easiest. Now, I'm going to give you a problem with them. That I don't like about them. I've had some good guys that were Paisas. Pee-wee, shout out to him, man. The Paisas did him dirty. He was a Paisa. And he used to run my ticket and work for me and stuff. When I got thrown out that compound later on down the roads, they jumped on his ass. And I heard for no reason. They just were jealous of him because he could do some things. You know, he could fit in with people with tickets and stuff. He could make money and they couldn't. But anyway. And now the dealings I've had with them too, the ones that were cool, like I want to say that, like Pee-wee, I had places on the compound at Gilmer that I used to hit off with when my pack would come in, and they were good money and very respectful and everything like that. But now here's the thing. They really got no rules. And what I mean by that is they don't care. Rat, sex offender, Mo, whatever, woman beater, drunk, whatever. They don't care because they want the numbers, because they don't want to become victims. And that's the truth. But now, so not all of them are bad. I'm not saying that. But that's just facts, man. Also, it's not just Mexicans. Paisas will be every single, I could be a Paisa. Seriously. I believe I could run with the Paisas. You know what I mean? I ain't got drop of Hispanic blood. But I see why they do it for the numbers, but it gives them a dirty car. Now, what I don't like about them. Oh, hang on now. Hang on. Whoa. What it is too, politics, you definitely can't steal. You guys know all that. You know what I mean? You can't steal from nobody. Your car will crush you. But some cars will like try to turn a blind eye and stuff like that. One thing about the Paisas, they don't do no stealing or none of that kind of stuff. They're not going to do that. They can make all kind of cool stuff for cheap. Cook pretty good too. But now, the thing I don't like about them, like I said, they'll get there. They might be 20 deep. They're very respectful, everything like that. They're great. 20 more come. 20 more come. 20 more come. 20 more come. Now they want this TV. They want this. They want that. Now they're 400, 500 deep. Now they're tough. So you know what I mean? So the same thing they're trying to hide from is they try to build and then try to, do that. Now they will go too. You know what I mean? They fight. You know what I'm saying? I've seen them go to war. You know what I mean? I've seen they let me give you an example. It was funny. They were going to get like a couple of their own off the compound. They were going to crush a couple of their own guys. Now, nobody knows about it, but it's rec time to Gilmer, like out in the rec yard. It just gets called. And they all pile up out here, down here by the bathroom, probably like 50 of them. Up here, all the way past the basketball, you got to come through, go past the basketball court, and walk down the soccer field. Right there, there's a wall where we play handball. Well, anyway, the two Paisas that they're going to get off the yard are down there. Right here at the basketball court, you got two black guys, younger guys. These aren't like hardened prison guys. There's nobody else really in the yard, but you know, just straggling people. We're out there playing cards. Next thing you know, you see the Paisas coming through. Woo! They're ready. They got everything in their hand. They'll have net bags full of rocks. They'll have whatever, soda cans, pop, pop, whatever. So they start, charge. The black guys don't know they're coming after them. They see this. They start, woo! They ran. They climbed up the fence. Not the actual fence to like get out of the prison, but there's a fence separating the softball field and all that. And they, you know, they're faster, more athletic. The Paisas literally can't get up that fence. So the black dudes climb right on top of the fucking fence. Funny as shit. The Paisas just kept on going and went crushed their guy or whatever. So yeah, I don't know why they took him off the compound. Maybe he was stealing or something like that, because it could have been no paperwork stuff or none, I don't think. But you know what? Maybe some different places, them cars tighten up and stuff like that. So I don't want to do that, like I said. But this is my experience. Hispanic ones. Let me see. You got your Nietas, G57s. These are all Puerto Ricans, right? Puerto Rican gangs and stuff. Shout out to them. These are all going to run tight ships. All the gangs. All the gangs. Whether it's black, whether it's Spanish, whether it's white. Like I said, the problem with the white thing. Now, the problem with the white gang members, a lot of them are just troublemakers, man. Honestly. They just like to make trouble, dude. And a lot of them got drug problems and can't make nothing happen because they were losers on the street. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? So they're always doing something stupid. And then, you know, just they're not leaders. They don't have the qualities. Some are, but most aren't. And that goes for all cars too, though. But it's really bad with the whites. Yeah, so like now your different cars like will go for different things. Like the Baltimore car, where I'm from. Baltimore car runs a good car. Everybody will tell you that. And what I mean by that is try to keep the car clean with the paperwork and everything like that, and they do have one of the cleanest cars. But I will say this. You will find the Loch Ness Monster before you will ever find a 100% clean car in the feds. It's just the truth. I don't care where you're at. There's always something. Somebody always did something, man. I'm just telling you. You know, might not have been ratting. It might have been some gay stuff. Who knows? But there's always something dirty in that car. But you can only keep it as clean as you can. And Baltimore tries to do that. New York. They got a lot of gangs in New York, and but as a whole, yeah, they're on the paperwork and stuff like that. Philadelphia, Muslims, penitentiary. We'll talk about the Muslims in the penitentiary. Like it all depended. Like a lot of people say, oh, Muslims allow rats, Muslims allow sex offenders just because they're Muslim or whatever. That's not true. But what the thing is this: they would let them walk up like a rat or something like that, where the white dudes or the Spanish dudes, they're going to put that thing in them. And the black dudes, they're going to put that thing in them. The Muslims may let them walk up. Just go to protective custody yourself. That's the difference there. Christian car and stuff, I don't know about that weird stuff and all, you know, when people start getting into fly, you know, whatever. But, so that's that. Philadelphia, let's get around here. Now, as you start getting down south, it's a little bit different. I heard they actually got a car down south that's called the Hot Boys or something like that. You know what I mean? I can see what I mean by that. I'm not saying that the down south people are like got a bunch of you know what I mean? I could just see the vetting process is a lot easier. It's a lot easier to slip through the cracks with them. Honestly. It's just true. You know. And what I mean by down south, I see, because I can't say that, guys. Let me take that back, because now you're spreading over to Texas and stuff like that. I mean, like, I'm headed down the East Coast. Florida. I'll say Florida. uh, Georgia. I'm not saying these guys are weak, or like I said, I'm not saying they invite rats in or whatever, but their vetting process is a lot easier, so people can slip through the cracks. Also, Ohio, also. Um, Ohio white guys, they're under, the same regular politics and all, but they usually don't get into gangs and stuff like that. They're like me. I'll say that. Like the white guys that really aren't into that stuff should be all of everybody on the East Coast, but I'm not going to get into that. But you got Ohio, you got a lot of Cleveland, Columbus, stuff like that. You got a lot of thorough white dudes. You got up in Boston, Philly, like I said, New York. Now have I covered all the cars? Yeah, pretty much. The politics get abused, though, sometimes. They're put in place for good intentions, but everything's put in place for good intentions, just like out here or anything like that, or any gang you join or whatever. When you get to see the sign-up sheet or whatever, it seems great. It's kind of like buying a timeshare. You know what I mean? It seems great, but then you regret it. How can I sell this timeshare? And that happens. Trying to get into more. Some people, like, some cars, like if you're supposed to be religious or whatever, like Muslim and stuff like that, they don't, you can't get, I seen a guy, listen, this fat guy, he was from Baltimore, right? But he wasn't in a Baltimore car, he was a Muslim car, right? And he worked in the kitchen. So Gilmer had good food. That's back when the feds had good food. And he would work in the kitchen, and I guess they, the sausages and all for breakfast, they were real pork. Oh my God, it was good. So he creeps back. Now, he's not even supposed to be stealing this stuff because they can't touch it or whatever. He creeps back like he's just got vegetables or whatever. He comes in his cell. He puts the shitter towel up or whatever. And I don't know if it's a little bit or whatever he messed up. He sat down. He's going to town, eating all this pork. Somebody came by, seen it or whatever. What you doing? What did he say? He said, the devil got me, or I don't know, something like that. It was crazy. He started crying and everything. I'm so sorry. But I'm not disrespecting the Muslims' religion or whatever. It was just a funny moment. My Muslim guys out there, you know what I mean? Shout out to you guys. Yeah. So it's all different. You know what I mean? Everybody tries to keep, like I said, respect. Everybody tries to keep the peace. Nobody really wants the drama. You know what I mean? Unless you get a knucklehead. And if you get a tough guy like that comes in, you do get that time to time. Eventually it catches up to him. There's always somebody tougher. Just look at what happened to Walter Johnson. You know what I mean? I see right now somebody just commented, fly, Eagles, fly. That's on one of my old videos. I'm going to find that out. I'm going to check who you are, man. I'm calling you out right now. You just said fly, Eagles, fly while I'm filming this. Good game today, man, for you guys. And you guys traveled well or whatever. Just don't go flipping out Ray Lewis statues and all that kind of stuff, Johnny Nice and all that. All right, guys. Until next time, man. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you want to do in the comments. You know what I mean? Reach out to me, man. We're going to just try to keep the show going. Everything's going good, man. We're going to duck all the bullshit. And we're going to keep this up. All right, guys. Remember, until next time, always stand on business.